Okay, we're going to start for our weekly inspection. We lost Jim today, so we're replacing him with Ted. And again, we're going to do a little smoke up here. We're going to want to check and see. Remember, last week we had a frame of brood in here, right in the middle. We want to know if she made it worse.
Ooh, doggies.
Look at all that.
Look at all the icing.
Look at all the honey. Holy smokes, that is...
So take a good look at the top of that. See how everything got lots of white wax. See where we got it here? Man, they're doing good. We've got a second super in case we need to put it on. So what I noticed this week was the bees pretty much stopped snooping in my old equipment that has honey in it, and they're going and getting their own honey. So we're going to pull out that frame that we had some mostly eggs last week. See what we got. You got to pull them out real careful because they're putting a little bird comb in bad spots.
Oh yeah, they made a mess of that. Look at that.
Should have marked the frame. Any eggs on that?
No, they yanked them out. Oh, look at this nastiness.
Yeah, they definitely made a mess there.
A la plastic frames. God, they love them.
I'm sure I'm
You can see I'm prejudiced against plastic frames. Seem to be always a little more burr comb and stuff on plastic frames than normal. But look at here. Lots of frosting all through here. And so here, let me hold that. And we'll take a look at another frame next to it because we should have had eggs on one of them. We should have marked the frame, so...
It's the next one. This has got cat bird
This
on
has
it.
got eggs right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Darn it.
All right. Let's take that. Let's look at that one and see what we got.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Look at that.
Good
From last
capture.
week, look at what we did. So those eggs and larvae we saw were pretty old. They're capped at 8 days. So it was probably 2-3 day old larvae or eggs. So we'll check this other frame over here to see if there's any more. You got to handle these frames very, very carefully because you don't know where your queen is.
Exactly.
As we were talking earlier, a bull in the china shop is not good for doing it this way. You want to be very gentle, move things slowly so in case the queen is somewhere, you don't hurt her.
So this would be a 1-generation brood frame. They're filling up every cell that's open with nectar. As soon as they hatch out, they'll fill it full of nectar.
Yep.
So that's good.
Few queen cups on the bottom.
Empty.
Okay. Looking pretty good. Okay, we're gonna put this back in there. This box is looking really good. They're starting to crowd this queen down into where she belongs. You can see that. Now look at how nice this looks. You know, you don't see any frosting, you don't see anything. We don't have any burnt comb. We have more burnt comb upstairs than you see here at all. So let's hope the queen is downstairs. I hate to say this, I can't remember whether we saw her last week or not. I don't think we did.
No, I think last week was the first week we did not see her.
But again, they haven't completely drawn out this frame, so she's got plenty of room.
Gee, that's a lot of nectar. Definitely got a honey flow. The nectar?
Yep. See the nectar drops here that Ted just shook off of that frame? That'll tell you. See how the bees run over to it right away like, oh boy, free stuff. See that? They're quick.
Oh, are we gonna More nectar. Oh, nectar.
Next frame is brood and nectar.
So, okay. Lots of day 2 eggs. They're just approaching a 45 degree. Here's today's eggs. Just a few. So now that we found brood, do we want to go down to this bottom box?
Yeah, let's see what we got there. And we have a ton of bees that are flying in. So what has started to bloom here early this week is you can see in the locust trees we got white bloom. Up on the South Hill, I saw the Perry Street area, I saw locusts with lots of bloom on it. But you can see all my locusts back here are all starting to bloom. If we don't get rain, rain destroys locust bloom really fast. So we don't get any rain for the next 2 or 3 days, the bees here will do crazy on locust.
Okay, this frame obviously has a lot of bees here. This outside frame, not so. I can see all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to pull it out.
Now
first.
that's really important to remember when you're going through your hive, because one side will usually let you take the frame out without causing any damage.
Well, it was a brood frame.
Yep.
Now it's a honey frame.
Couple of queen cups.
Yeah. Nothing in it. It's 2 on that frame.
So all these cells are empty and it was on the wall. So when we put it back in, we're going to switch it so that the queen has easy access to it. And possibly they'll stop doing this.
Ted was being nice. He didn't set that frame right where Larry's bare legs are.
Okay.
Boy, that's a good looking frame.
Now that's a beauty, isn't it? See the honey in the corners, fresh honey here, a little honey down here, honey over there. That's what you're looking for. This time of year, that's the key to having a good hive. And here you can see the fresh nectar that's coming in where the cells are hatching out. They're dumping it in there. Hopefully tonight, if we went in here real early tomorrow morning, we'd probably see all that gone. Oh yeah, look at here, drops. Look at here. Boy, they're on them so fast. It's like, I wonder what one of my
raining.
cousins dropped that when they wouldn't have, shouldn't have.
Sisters.
The workers don't like to climb all the way up. There's a frame that's been in the business of hatching out. You can see some bees right there, right where this drone is. To get out of the way. We got a cell right there they're getting ready to come out of.
Oh yeah.
So we got a little hatch going on that side. Again, on this side, you notice we have a small, very small amount of drones in here. Here's one with pollen. And look at it, it knows this is the frame with pollen on it, so it's coming over here to find a spot to get rid of it.
I don't know if you can focus down, but check out the brand new bee.
Oh yeah, look at that. See how
She's
fuzzy
still-
he is? Ah, isn't it beautiful?
Hair's still matted.
Yeah.
Just this one here.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Sort of like a toddler first learning how to walk. They kind of stagger around a little bit. Now watch, Ted's pulling everything up tight against the side here, so we're not going to hurt bees, and it'll all be ready to slide over. Wow, wow, isn't that nice? Third frame of brood right there, and we got one up above too.
We're
So.
still putting honey
Yeah.
corners.
And again, empty cells are dumped in, so the honey flow right now is pretty good.
Yeah, really good. Notice that the drones have hatched out and they're filling that in too. So no more drones on this frame. So now that we see eggs, we might be getting somewhere close to where the queen's at.
Hey, she's gonna fool us because the next frame looks capped.
That's all dry.
Look at the pollen coming in. You notice you don't see as much pollen coming in right now as you do nectar. And part of that is the hive has quite, again, this is a big patch of pollen here. The hive is sitting really good for pollen stores. So they kind of slow that down and shift over to the nectar. A bee isn't a pollen gatherer forever. It just gathers it when the hive needs it. And they want to store honey first because they got lots of pollen.
So this is all 3-day-old eggs.
Wow, she's laying really nice. Oh, looks like Ted has new gloves. Whoa.
I did.
Jeez.
The other ones are so sticky. Makes you wonder where she's been.
Yeah. She's got it all over the top of her head, and they haven't cleaned it off yet.
Maybe she went over to the paper mill.
Yeah.
Whoa. Nice brood.
And that's out to the wood on both sides, down to the bottom to the top. Not much room to put any nectar. Though, if you look at the open cells on that frame, you'll see every one of them has got nectar in them. So they're dumping a lot today. See how he uses his hive tool to just kind of move the bees out of the way to pinch it apart.
Yeah, look, it's a hatching. Brood's been hatching all day,
Yeah.
and that's why and they're just filling it with the nectar flow coming in. See, this frame is a good candidate for having the queen on it because there's open space, but haven't seen her yet. And see, this one's hatched out a little bit earlier, and that's why all the cells are full of nectar. Boy, they're really hauling it in. Oh, definitely.
Oh man.
Jiminy Christmas heavy.
So that all the brood that was on this side is all hatched out.
Yep, now they're filling it in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, filling it more. So I don't know if that's a drone or what, but it's not now. So,
Pretty nice
on
looking.
my hives, I would put this upstairs and
Yep.
put brood down here. Are we going to do that?
Yep.
Good.
So now, here's good reason why you go through that bottom box. We now know we want to take this frame out, put brood down here, and so it'll work a lot better for the bees to and the queen in your management practices to keep brood all the way down in the bottom box.
So high probability the queen is up on these frames, and we would like to put her downstairs. Not that she's going to stay there. Man, that's a brood frame.
Yeah, that is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll put this one down.
Okay.
But I'm not going to butt it up.
Where do we want to put it? Outside?
I will eventually,
Okay.
but right now,
Put
I
it
just
there.
want to put it in. Now, was this here or
Here.
Okay, so it hadn't come up yet.
Remember, we looked at these two frames earlier.
Look at the nectar. We need more honey supers. So this is the second box, so you gotta check the bottom rail on every frame because that's where your swarm cells might be.
It's not uncommon, especially in the second box, to have them start crowding the corners with honey. Remember, in the fall, we're looking for this box to be full of honey. Hard to find an extra frame to put downstairs. Interesting, they're filling the back of the hive with capped honey.
There she is.
There she is.
But man, look at the honey on this frame.
Now you'll notice she is a carnolin. It's all pure black. And the mark on her is slowly being eaten off. So
You want to put her down in the bottom box?
Definitely. Okay, that's all eggs where it's not honey. Same thing here.
and this is our undrawn out frame here. Let me look at it real quick. So they haven't drawn that out yet, so let's put her downstairs. Want to put her on the outside?
Well, I was wondering if we want to put her on that frame and put it down.
Oh, okay. That'll
What
work.
do you think?
Yeah.
Or are we going too much
No,
journeyman stuff?
no, I think that'd be fine. Teach them how to do that. Let's just show them how we very gently slide this little lady down onto this frame. Hold on. So we can get her off. The trick is we'll move this frame down and they'll go crazy drawing it out. It'll be all drawn out tomorrow. And they haven't filled it up with a lot of honey, so we're in good shape there. So she has a place to lay. So, and she can lay on this frame. There isn't an egg in anything. So Ted's going to show you how we move her. And it's just, you kind of herd her like you're going to herd cattle. Ted being an ex-rancher boy. What always happens to me, the first time I try this, she wants to run to the other side instead of go onto the bottom frame. Yep.
Got it.
Got it?
Sometimes I have to do it twice to do that. That was a good job, Ted.
I've done it once or twice.
Yeah.
I don't know what the X is for, but
Well, remember, X marks the spot. That's where the queen was this week.
Okay, so we got that frame. It's kind of not all drawn out. They got work to do tonight. She's on it. She's downstairs. We know she's got some areas to lay. And it's interesting. They're bringing in a lot of honey. If you look at this last frame here, they're filling it up with honey. It's pretty heavy. Look at that. Okay. So they're going to turn this outside frame into honey, which is fine with us.
before we do that, now you guys got to get good at remembering how many frames of brood you have. So right now that's all brood except for the one with the queen on it. So there's 7 frames of brood.
Okay.
And then we start adding up these frames.
So remember that if you looked at a lot of ours there, they were pretty much, this one had a lot of brood on it last time, but it's all honey now. So we're going to rearrange that. See, we're going to put the thick part, I got this corner, and put it in there like that. And we can add that to our spacing. I think we saw brood on these two. I can't remember right now.
Me neither. Nope, honey, but it is a partially drawn, so putting it in the center is a good thing.
Yep. So she decides to come upstairs. There's a frame for her to come up and suck them up there to draw that out. Boy, that's a nice.
This has eggs and larvae on it.
Yep. I think the other side did too. Yep, so we got another frame. This is actually about a half a frame. If you'll look, half of it is honey. So now we got to deal with our outside frames. That was filling up with honey. It had hatched out. Oh, that's open, isn't it?
Mhm.
If it's eggs and larvae, there's going to be bees on it, okay? So watch, Ted's going to do a mite check on the Varroa, or on the drones here. See, he uses his capping scratcher, pulls the caps off. carefully.
Don't want to come out. There we go.
So we don't see any mites running around there. Don't see any running around there either. Usually they run fast and hard. They don't like to be exposed. Now on the field day we found one, and it was very, very immature mite. It just sat there.
Nope, that was the drone's eye. Okay. And the bees will cannibalize this. That's pure protein.
Yeah. And this is going to be a frame turned toward the outside because it's mostly honey on it.
And that's all empty cells. So let's see what this frame is, because I can't remember. It's all nectar. It's not as drawn out, so we'll put it towards the center.
So what we're trying to do is encourage them in the second box to finish drawing out anything that they didn't draw out.
Yeah, look at him belting.
Yeah. You kind of guide them where you want them to go and hope to hell they go. There's no guarantees in this. You know, if we squeeze those together very slowly, we don't take a chance of hurting any bees. They'll move out of your way.
Okay, so we had 1.5 frames of brood.
Yep. So plus 7 is about 8.5 frames of brood, which is excellent. Now, if you had small patches all through everything and everything, you know, you look at the frame and say, is that half frame? A lot of people will count them as full frames of brood when you only got it half full of brood. You got to be careful. I have people tell me, wow, I got 12, 13 frames of brood, and I go, you sure? And the next thing they'll say is, well, they were partials on the frame. So count so you know realistically what you got. For some reason, the pollen gathers are all hanging around at the front of the thing. Look at right there and there. God, they're bringing in just beautiful, bright yellow pollen.
So we also had a frame of brood in the honey super.
Yes.
So that'll bring us up to 9.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk formic?
What's that?
Formic?
So we're going to put formic on this to show you how it all goes about. Saturday we did a mite check. We had no mites, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to do this so you'll do it right, and it'll piss off the bees beautifully. And there's a formic pad, and just peel it off like this, and then the bees don't like it at all. Just get it like that, and here we're good to go. Didn't mean to do that. Not gonna hurt anything. This pad will be very active for about 5 days, 6 days at the most, but it'll still work. You know, you can see, look at what happened. As soon as it went on there, they vanished. They didn't want anything to do with that.
See, the wind's going towards Jerry's.
Yeah, I can smell it and taste it.
So I'm smoking the bees away from here so I don't crush them into the formic pad. That wouldn't be very nice.
Now we're going to add a second super onto this because we can see the honey flow is really going full bore right now. And they're dumping downstairs a lot. And we don't want them to get, you can look at the amount of bees up in the honey super. Really heavy.
Yep.
So let's smoke those down and space our frames a little bit here. And
yeah, I doubt they're going to go down.
no, they're not. They might go off the top where we're not going to hurt them. We'll make sure the bottom bars are clear on our other super. We're adding it. It's called insurance policy because we see we got a really heavy honey flow and they're dumping honey in your brood area when the brood hatches. So you want them to bring it upstairs, which they will do if there's room. Okay, so Ted's going to scrape the bottom bars on that super, and we'll add it on here very gently. And we don't want that there. It'll be Crush City. Okay,
Ready?
there you go. Now we're adding drawn supers so the bees can move honey up in there a lot faster than a lot of you who are putting foundation. So if you have a super that's not drawn out all the way, then you want to, you might not need to put that second super on. Okay, so we'll just kind of adjust this here. Somebody was playing games with me by sticking a few plastic ones in there. I think that was Scott. Wants to make it hard when I extract.
And these are wet frames.
Yep.
So the bees, you can already see them. This is free food. They like it.
We always calculate that if you put extracted frames on a hive, you get probably a little less than a full frame of honey out of them when they clean them up. They'll clean them up and stick it all in one spot.
So I don't know if you want a video down and show the bees that are already on the honey.
Look at that.
Coming up.
And we're gonna put this lid on from back to front so we don't kill all the bees that are trying to run out the top entrance. That's sort of like a wrap for today. We're looking really good. You saw that you got a chance to see fresh nectar and how we judge it. So we're looking really, really good. We got the right amount of brood that she's just about maxed out on how much she can lay. And so she'll now go back and lay through the stuff that's hatching out.
18 frame of bees?
Yep.
All
Turn over,
total,
please.
it's probably a frame of honey.
Yeah. I'd say 2. Yeah. Because we got a little bit up in the super.
And Jim's not here, so we can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know it's a carny.
Yeah. There you go. I'll weigh this later today and see what it is.
Plus formic.
See, we keep our notes on our lid. This one is good because you'll see the early part of the season's already fading off. We'll go back. The birds like to contribute to limiting our working space.
And make sure you video your shorts so we can show bare-legged beekeeping.
That's right. I'm all about, for those who don't know, I'm always in shorts.
Boy, isn't that the truth?